Have you ever wondered why some marketing messages stick to your mind and others fade away? In today's business world, the art of crafting messages that does not only stick to mind but also transform businesses is one of the most important parts of creating a successful marketing funnel. In today's video, I'm going to be revealing the secret behind creating powerful marketing messages crucial for sales and marketing funnel. Then I'll be walking you through some of the pitfalls when creating your own marketing messages. And finally, hand you the tools you need to master the art of communication that resonates with your ideal customer. When it comes to mastering the art of communication and marketing messages, there are two major, very powerful techniques. These techniques are used by all the major brands you know. Name them all. They use all these techniques I'm going to be revealing to you in this video. This technique is one of the most powerful tools you need as an arsenal in your marketing campaign toolbox. Now, by the time I reveal the secret and the techniques behind some of your most favorite brand, you will start noticing this marketing plot, and then you will understand what exactly is going on and why you are taking action the way you do. Now, before we dive into these two major techniques I'll be revealing to you today, let's talk about some of the major pitfalls that is killing over 99% of business marketing campaigns and making them to fail woefully. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. The number one pitfall that always occurs is this. We call it internal bias. If you create your own product, most times you have a blind spot for your product. So you don't really know how people are going to resonate with this particular product, or you don't really know what is the kind of marketing messages that you're supposed to put out there, because you are over familiar with the product and it is your product. So you don't really see what people are seeing whenever they engage with your product. This is called internal bias. You need to make sure you avoid this particular trap, because most marketing messages are based on internal bias, not data that is available in the market space. Internal bias is one of the major causes of marketing message mismatch. For you, you might be saying what you think is okay. Meanwhile, people receiving your message are getting a different message because they are not aligning. Now, moving on to number two. A lot of businesses lose their audience due to industry jargons or technicalities. They use industry words like, oh, the pepperusa is the same thing inside the minerusa. You can get it into the amacrulosa and put it here and you get it there. And that is the amalgamation of the two in one. You see, these are industry jargons. Not everybody understands what you're saying, right? So that communication gap must be closed, right? If you are writing your marketing message, you must make sure that you avoid industry jargons, because not everybody is in your industry. After all, your clients are here to understand that you have the value to their problem. They are not after your lectures, they are after your solution. So let your message be very clear, concise, straight to the point, addressing their pain point, addressing them, telling them that you have the value that they need and your value is going to absolutely solve their problem, and that's it. Number three is very crucial. You see, a lot of businesses forget about one of the most important aspects that cause we humans to make our decision when it comes to decision. You see, businesses, they focus on facts and figures, utilizing the logical part of humans, but forgetting the emotional aspect of humans. So emotional appeal is one of the pitfalls that so many business owners forget when it comes to marketing messages. Even though facts and figures are very important and necessary, but the emotional connection is the major driver of decision making when it comes to clients and customers patronizing you and your services. So with these three major pitfalls, once you understand these three things, you are way above 99% of business owners out there wasting money on campaigns and trying to talk to people in a way that they feel is comfortable for them, instead of trying to find a way to really appeal to their emotion, eradicate industry jargon, and also make sure they close the communication gap. Once you're able to get that done, step one. Now let's dive into technicalities, techniques that you can use to communicate effectively and also create a marketing message that turns prospects into clients and clients into recurring clients, thereby making you 10x your business. Now, these two major techniques, when it comes to crafting effective marketing messages that resonate with your client, they are based on what we call the core of effective marketing messages. And you need to understand that every effective marketing message has three parts. The first part is customer's perspective. Every of your messages must speak to the customer, what he wants and how he feels. Your messages must be about the customer's feelings and what they really want. It must be about their pain. It must be about their solution. It must be about how you're going to help them, and eventually how you and your product can effectively give them the transformation that they desire. So your messaging is going to be all about the customer's perspective, not your own perspective, but the customer's perspective. Now, the second thing you need to know when it comes to creating core effective messaging, you need to understand that transformation must be over information. Don't overload your clients and prospects with over information. Instead, with transformation, let your message pinpoint the right thing at the right time and let them know exactly what you are bringing to the table so that they can connect with you logically and emotionally. So always think about this second point: transformation over information whenever you're creating your marketing message. Now, you need to understand that whenever you want to create a message that will imply transformation to the clients and to the customer who are listening to you, you must make it about them. Your messages must not be about your person, your product, or your process. It must only be about the transformation they desire. That is what your message is all about. You need to understand that before they start to use your product or your service, they don't know how good it will be. They don't even understand what it takes. They don't even have an idea of what you have. It might be the best product in the world, but let me tell you the truth. Even if you have the best product in the world and your messaging does not communicate the transformation your product has to offer, that product will not move the needle. That product is not going anywhere. Your message must be way, way more powerful, must be impactful and shows transformation. That is the only way people can understand what you have and they cannot follow and take the desired action. The last part is the goal. Now, whenever you're crafting your message must have a specific goal, and that goal must be clear, straight to the point, and it must be transformative. Strictly talking about the customer's desire, the customer's solution, and letting the customer know you understand the pain and you are here to help them move from pain into pleasure. That must be your goal. So how do you get these three most important things done in your message? And that is where I will talk about the two most important techniques. Number one is this: problem, solution, result model. That is the techniques number one when crafting your message. In this model, the first part of it is the problem. This involves where you clearly articulate the problem or the issues that these clients are facing. You clearly articulate it. You say, these are you so person facing this particular problem. You are very clear and you know the problem they are having, and you clearly state the problem in your message. This will help them align with you logically because they will discover that you understand the problem that they have, and that simply means that you might have solution to their problem. That will be the direct logical thought. Whenever people see that you understand their problem, you are one step towards helping them get solution. Now, once you are able to do the first part of identifying and articulating the problem that your clients or prospects are having, the step number two is solution. After you do that, at this step, you're going to now present your own service, your own product, or your offer as the one and only answer to the problem that they face. So at this point, you're going to present your product and services as the authoritative solution to their problem. Then, once you be able to do that, go to number three. And this number three, where you talk about the result. Now, when it comes to result is always about the benefit, not about the futures. You see, a lot of people get this part wrong. They talk about the problem, the solution, and they don't start talking about the future. You know, our problem, we will take 17 hours to solve it. We will do this. All these are futures. The result part, you have to talk about the benefit. What will be the outcome after you solve their problem? What will be their transformation? How will they feel? What will they now become? Are you going to move them after engaging with you? Are they going to move from point A to point Z? What is the plan? They want to see the transformation. It is at the result part that you articulate the benefit of your product and how it transforms them. So now you have the first model, the problem, solution, and result model. This is a very, very practical technique used by almost all the big brands that you see everywhere. From today, start looking at it. You will start noticing how they craft these messages. It's very, very subtle and it's effective and straight to the point. It's very, very clear. Now, the goal of this particular technique is to connect with the client or prospect directly, knowing fully well that you understand their problem, and you have the solution, and you even know what the future will be for them. It's very clear. Above all, this model makes the message clear and simple, straight to the point. Now, one of the best ways to utilize this particular model, now let me give you an example. For instance, if you happen to run a bike business, let's say you have a bike store in Lagos, and all you sell is a bike. So you sell a bike in Lagos. Now, the major problem you're trying to solve is problem of traffic congestion. Now you offer bike as the one and only solution, because a lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, before they get to office, they must have spent about 6 to 7 hours on the road, right? Now you are offering a solution where they can just use their app, book for a bike, and before they know it, they are at their destination. Now, if you want to craft this kind of message, all you need to do using this particular model is to present your message in this format. You will say, first of all, you are going to first call out the problem. The problem here is traffic congestion. The solution here is e-bike for faster transportation or commuting. And the result they are going to get is saving precious time and avoid traffic. You see, this is straight to the point. You have the problem, traffic congestion. You have the solution. You use an e-bike that will help you navigate on time. The result is that it saves them precious time and avoid traffic. This is very, very straight to the point and simple, and it connects in a very, very logical manner, and it's very, very relatable. So this first technique is made popular by Donal in one of his books, Story Brand, and also in the second book called Marketing Simplified. I read that book, very fantastic. Most of what I'm saying is from that particular book. That is one of the major techniques that he uses, and that technique has been replicated by thousands of corporations and brands in their messaging every day. If you want to get the book, link below. You can get the book on Amazon and go to the book and also learn more. The second technique is one of my favorite techniques of all time. This technique was made very popular by Russell Brunson, the owner of ClickFunnels. Now let's go through it. The technique is hook, story, offer. Hook, story, offer. Very, very beautiful. The first part is hook. In the hook is meant to grab the attention of everyone that is scrolling or sees your message for the first time. This hook is usually very, very compelling. It could be a question or a surprising fact or an intriguing statement. The goal of the hook is to grab attention. It doesn't even matter. At a point, even if the problem that the hook is talking about, sometimes it might not even be your problem, but because it is so compelling and the fact is there, you just don't have option but to stop and see what this thing is about, and the hook is usually very, very effective. Then after the hook, the next part is story. This part involves telling a narrative that engages the audience, relating to a problem or a surprising fact. This is a more emotionally resonant way. So the goal of this story is to actually connect with prospective and customer in a more subtle way, in an emotional way, whereby they feel that they are part of the story. At this point, your clients or your customers are going to be connecting with you emotionally, because the story now gets them. After the hook, they are hungry. The goal of the hook is to open a loop. Now the story will fill in that particular loop. At that point, they are engaged and they understand what you are talking about, and they can relate with you on a deeper level, usually in an emotional way. Then after that part, we go to the offer. Now the offer part is the point whereby after telling them the story and you narrate whatever thing you want to talk about in the story, how the problem started, what happened with the problem, and why they are feeling this way, how you also felt, and these prospects are hooked in the story, then the offer part comes. The offer is now the part that tells them how to get out of the problem that you are explaining to them in the story and in the hook, right? So the offer now is the payoff, the loop that was open in the first and the second part. This particular strategy, the hook, story, offer, is the most advanced strategy when it comes to marketing and sales techniques. It's very, very powerful. If you want to learn more about this particular strategy, go and read Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, the Expert Secret. Go and read that particular book, link below, so that you can get more ideas on how to use this effectively. Now, you need to understand that the hook, story, offer technique is a major way to connect with the prospective or with the customers in a deeper level, creating a bond, emotion that now allow them to open up to the solution you have to offer. Usually, this makes it very, very simple to sell or to offer them whatever solution you have to the problem that you narrated during the story. This is one of the most effective way marketers and sales individuals get more clients and close their sales and also get their marketing goal met. Now you need to understand that whenever you're implementing the hook story offer, it's a little bit advanced compared to the first model. The first model goal is to send a clear message, very simple, straight to the point, connect in a logical way. The second method is more of a storytelling, captivating and present your offer to the prospect. This part is a little bit advanced. Sometimes you will need more techniques and skills like storytelling skills, like copywriting skills, and some other techniques required to be able to pull off this particular second strategy. But if you are able to pull it off, it is the best model. Just like I said, it's a little bit of advanced, but it's also the best model. It converts better any day, anytime. So for example, if you want to sell the bike, with the bike example that we did in the first place, if you have an e-bike store or you have a bike store and you're in Lagos, so the first thing you're going to do is like, oh, do you know that 99% of people spend 7 hours in traffic in Lagos, and this is the effect of this and that? A very captivating hook that's going to hook them up and that's going to stop them from scrolling on their social media. Like, wow, do you mean it? Wow, are you serious? Are you for real? Or you say something very, very dramatic like 99% of Lagosians lose their life on traffic. Here's how to solve that. So people will be like, wow, what's going on here? Then you now start to relate an emotional story about how somebody started his life in Lagos, spent 30 years on traffic, out of the entire life and all that. And by the time you calculate, you discover that he spent most of his time on traffic and nothing to show for it. And now you are presenting your bike as a solution to stop that particular issue from happening to the next person. You see, this will connect the person from a deeper level, in an emotional level, and they will want to do business with you. That's the difference between the first and the second model of crafting your messaging when it comes to marketing. Now, I know the question you're going to be asking me. You're going to be like, oh, now you've given us two models. Which one should I use? What is the best option? And at what point I should use which? And why should I use one over the other? Because I told you the first one is also used by big brand. The second one is also used by big brand. Now, depending on the kind of product you have and the kind of services that you offer, some are better for you to be able to relate with them emotionally. Some just go straight to the point and tell them the solution and that you have it. You don't necessarily need to start digging emotional holes and all that, trying to go deep right at the first instance. Some people are actually turned off by that. But this is my take on it. This is the difference. And let me explain to you how you can use these particular techniques in your business, depending on what you're having. And there are major differences. Right? The first one is more straightforward and logical, focusing on rational aspect of the problem and solution. Second one leans towards emotional engagement and storytelling to captivate the audience. So if you are not very good with connecting with people emotionally or telling them a captivating story in your marketing, I suggest you just go with the first model. Just tell them the problem, straight to the point, and do your business that particular way. So the first particular model focus on people who already know their problem and they are ready for solution. But you and I know that a lot of people on the internet have problem and they don't even know they have the problem. And some people don't even agree that that particular problem is a problem for them. So the first model will not work for everybody. But the second model will work for the second class of people who they might not have problem, or they are hiding their problem, or they don't want to identify as though that particular problem is their problem. Now, when you now use the second strategy, the emotion will make them reveal. They will be connected with you in an emotional manner, and they will now agree to take action. This works especially if you are into, let's say, health-related products. There are some health challenges that people will not want to identify with. When somebody has some kind of sickness or disease and it's not visible to everybody, they might not want to acknowledge that they have that particular issue. But when you use the second technique to frame it in such a way that they are emotionally connected and they feel, wow, somebody cares and you understand how I feel, they will be able to open up and take your offer for what it is. So at that point, you might want to go with the second option instead of the first option, especially when you have a product that is a product that people don't like to openly say they have that particular problem. That's when you use the second one. Still on the point, which one should I use? Now, if you are a beginner, you are just starting out, my best option for you is go with the first point, as that point does not really require you to show any proof or talk about any story. Just go straight to the point, and it's easy for anybody to do, right? is very, very easy. Just know the problem your product solves, present the solution, and tell them the result, and you are good to go. Straight to the point, very clear. You don't need anything. The second one is good for seasoned marketers and salespeople who have a lot of experience in their belt. That experience can help them tell a story about how they started, how they are now helping people, and how they can now help you too. So if you have that kind of experience, that kind of story to back it up, why not? By all means, you can go with the second option and craft the best message ever on the internet and begin to make that particular sale. Guys, now you have gotten the two most important aspects when it comes to crafting effective message that will resonate with your clients and customers and turn them into ambassadors of your products. And they will not stop coming back because you are always saying the right thing that meets their need. So the next thing now is for you to go like this video, subscribe on this channel if you have not done so already. Click here and watch the next video about how to create a website so that you can carry this particular message, put it on your website, and start selling your product to those people who need results. See you in the next video.